So we all know that Arch paper is the gold standard of watercolor paper. But I've been really curious about this new cotton top paper from Oahu, and I want to try it out. So the tech is really interesting with this. It is 100% cotton paper on the top, sandwiched between a layer of wood pulp paper on the back, which is going to keep the price down and make it more affordable for all of us. So today we're going to do some washes, we're going to do some glazing and a whole bunch of other techniques to see how that compares to the Arch paper. So the good people at Oahu sent me a pad of cold press and hot press paper to try out. We're going to put down some little squares here and start off on a cold pressed paper with a gradiated wash. I really want to try this out on all three papers here. I'm using ultramarine, if that makes a difference. Here I am on the hot press paper, just kind of filling it in and trying it out. The next technique we're going to use is wet on wet. And I really wanted to use my Schmincke colors because they're so pigmented and rich. Adding in some wet and wet and then coming back in and scribbing back in. See what that does. And on the Arch, I'm going to be doing the same thing with the gradiated wash and then the wet and wet. I'm not going to do the full 9 on the Arch because I think we all know how that reacts. Just the 4 key points that I think are important to compare. Here we have we're going to do a little bit of salt with some plastic wrap because that's a technique that we all love and use. And I think it's important to understand how that works. Here I'm just using a little Crayon Resist to see how the paper holds up. And of course I'm coming back in with my stylus a little bit to scratch back in. So some of these are going to be combined techniques where I'm sort of trying it out a little extra. Now we're going to use a little bit of dry brush here to see how the paper and the texture reacts, to see what the texture looks like. Then I pulled out my Schmincke granulating watercolors. I think it's really important to know how it's going to work on these papers. And then the Linocut stamp, because I thought that would be fun. And then we're going to be using a little bit of Caran d'Ache, a little bit of ink tints to see how those work on this paper, on both the hot and cold press paper. And then also we'll be using the little bit of ink tints blocks to see how that reacts. So the papers are dry, so let's talk about the results. Okay, so here's all of the papers, all the swatches that we did. So here are the lifting results. As you can see, obviously the Arch did the best on this one. The cold press paper, I was a little less, I thought it would lift a little better than it did, but it did come up. But the lifting on the hot press was much better. So I would have to give, it would have to be the Arch, then the hot press, then the cold press. This is just a personal preference, but look at the difference in the texture between these two papers, between the two cold press papers. This one is very uniform, and this one on the Arch is varied. So I don't really like that it's all the same. It's hardly noticeable on the cold press. But I don't like that the machinery prints are all the same. That's just a little pet peeve of mine. So for the wet and wet, I think that, again, I think the hot press worked great, but you can see here on the cold press Oahu paper, the colors are a bit more vibrant on this one. And I used the same amount of pigment. They seem to fade a little bit more on this one, but I'm a hot press kind of girl, so I kind of like that. Both of them reacted very well to scraping back in. Look at the comparison between the three. I think that the Arch, again, is the winner in this. The colors stayed more vibrant, but these still aren't bad. I mean, this is not a terrible result. It's just different. You can see the color differentiation there on these three, but still very good. The plastic wrap, I think, is pretty much the same. I mean, I don't think I got enough salt on this one down here. But these reacted really well to that technique. There's nice distinct lines. You can tell where everything was. Again, I kind of like the hot press paper a little bit better. But all three are very good. Okay, for the glazing, I think this is the arch right here. I think they all three did pretty well. I think this is just a little bit more vibrant than on the cold press and the hot press, and of course there's the comparison between these two. Again, the uniformity of this is just really bugging me, but I think the colors are nice. I think the colors are nice and vibrant, which is awesome. So the next ones were the Crayon Resist marks. I think both these worked out really well. Obviously, the Crayon Resist is going to work better on hot press paper because it doesn't have the ridges, but I think they both held up really well to the mark making in the back end with the stylus. And I didn't do this one on Arch, so we're not going to talk about that. And then also the dry brush, I think, is both worked really well on both of these. And again, the texture of the paper is really going to make a difference here as far as what you can definitely see the texture, which is fine. I like the texture in this one. But I'm sort of leaning more toward that. But that's just my preference because I like hot press paper and I work on it quite a bit. So this was the pencils, the Caran d'Ache, and the ink tints and blocks. I really thought that both of these held up well. I think these colors actually look about the same on these two papers. Maybe a bit more vibrant on the cold press paper, but I think they both held up really well. Another thing I want to point out too is that I was very impressed by the fact that these papers didn't warp, which was kind of shocking to me because usually when you use like a less expensive paper, like it gets all warpy. But here, let me zoom out. These are both relatively flat. There is some bowing a little bit, but for all the water that I put on these, I was very impressed by how flat they stayed. So then we have the Linocuts, which both worked very well. And the granulation was a little surprising. I did do a granulation swatch here on the Arch, which is here. I'm just going to put down here. Trying to figure out how to put these on here. Surprisingly, I think that the granulation worked better on the cold press, the hot press paper than the cold press paper. You can see here. Let me zoom in. These are both. This is the Arch and the hot press, and it looks very much the same. Like to me, the texture in this paper is maybe more similar to an Arch than the cold press paper. Because when we look at the granulation on this one, you can really tell, again, those machine marks, although it did a good job. I think it's better on the Arch and the hot press paper. My opinion. I would say that it's probably more comparable and better quality than a Canson or a Strathmore. It's not quite the same as Arch, but it's very close. It's very close. If you were doing something professional, selling a commission or something like that, I would stick with this. If you're wanting to up your watercolor, your daily watercolors, I would probably go with one of these. Here's how the prices break down. So the Ohuhu papers they come in two different quantities. So there's one for $30 for $19.99. Both are 9 by 12. That comes out to 66 cents a sheet. The $14.99 20 pages is coming out to 74 sheets or cents. The Arch's pad is $24 for 12 sheets in the same 9 by 12. So that's $2 a sheet. The Canson watercolor pad is 30 pages at $14.31. It's 47 cents a sheet. So for 20 cents more, you can get a better paper. I will probably use these and cut them into smaller 5x7s because that's the size I work in. But it's nice to have that option of working in a larger size. I really love this hot press paper, and I think what we're going to do is I might do just a little quick sketch and see how it turns out and see, really put it through some more paces, okay? Okay, let's just start off with some marks with this Big Jerry's. This is a charcoal pencil. I thought it was a graphite pencil. It's actually a charcoal pencil. I want to see how it erases. So that's important. Because you guys know how I like to make marks and erase them. Let's get some paint out. Okay, I stretched my paper down. Let's come in with a little bit of this is a phthalo blue ultramarine mix. I'm kind of just using what I already had on my palette over there. And I want to add in a little bit of this, of our schminke pink. It's a granulating color, so I thought it might be kind of fun to try that out in the painting. Since we're testing out this fun paper, and it's a fun color, and that's really helps a lot. Okay. Just gonna scrape back in here a little bit. I'm gonna just scoop all the blue off and see how that's already starting to do its thing. It's fantastic. Such a pretty color. I'm just gonna do a quick little sketch here so we can kind of, because it's nice to review things and do that, but really the test comes with application. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I'm actually going to add a little bit of the sanguine through here. Okay, that was a lot. Apparently, I don't know what little bit means today. Let's see how it, oh, it comes off pretty wet. Lifting is a thing. Did a really nice job with that. Okay, that was cool. It's cool to know that I can come back in and just sort of take away. Let's put some wax resist down. See how that works. Got this lovely green color here. Dude, that's fun. Might need some darker colors maybe. But let's do a little bit of scraping as well. I like this paper. I like it a lot. Let's add a bit of the Poems About You in this ochre color. Let's bring in another layer of sort of this brownie tone. See how it works. Let's add a bit more down here, this sort of green color from Poems About You. And then let's add a little bit more of that ochre in there too. And then let's do another bit of mark making. I'm gonna sort of like this. I'm gonna add some Caran d'Ache, like this light gray through here. Ooh, that's really smooth on that. It's very nice on that paper. Let's come back in with a little bit. Okay, that had a bit of brown on there. Guys, I'm so bad about cleaning my brushes. I'm terrible. It goes really nicely over that. Just add some marks through here. Some darker ones through there. We need to add some undersea green. I'm just going to add some of it through here. If we didn't really add any of that. Let's see how that works. Love this color. It's my favorite color now. There is no other color. There's only undersea green. Let's put some marks through here. I'm pretty impressed that all the rubbing and the scrubbing is not really pilling up. We're not getting any pilling. The paper is staying relatively flat, which is impressive. So I'm putting down the gum arabic to give the charcoal a little space to hold on to. I used to just use water, but this seems to work a lot better. I'm just gonna put this on, if I can remember where I put the lines. Love this technique. It's one of my favorites. Just adds a little difference into it. And then I'm also going to do like another line. Is that what I want to use, that pencil? I guess we're using this pencil. Didn't really think that through, but let's put a little line through there. And yes, you will have to seal that in if you want it to stay, that charcoal, if you want to. I think I'm going to stop there. Zoom in a little bit. Love the granulation. Look how nice that is with that schminke pink. You can't really see in this light. It's kind of hard to see that. There's a little bit of orange up through there, but I kind of like how subtle it is. I love the lines. All of the techniques worked really well on this paper. Let's pull up the tape so you guys can see. I dried in between layers on most of the layers. I'm most impressed by how flat it is. It's just shocking to me how flat it is. But look at that. It's like super flat. I mean, there's a little bulky in there. For the most part, it's flat. Okay. So, final conclusions. Definitely will buy this paper. I think it's amazing for the price. Because of the way that I work, using a 9x12 sheet, I can get 60 sheets out of a 30-piece pad, which brings the cost down even more. That makes it like 37 cents. It's nice to have the option to be able to work in like an 11x14, or I'm sorry, 9x12 size. I think the paper is very good. It's not quite harsh, but it's very close. Like for me, the biggest thing with the cold press is the texture. Like I think the texture of it is, the uniformity of it is not good for me. I don't like that. But the hot press paper I love, and I will be using this quite often. I'm going to use it quite a bit over the next few weeks because we have a lot of paper to use up. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and review, and I will see you on Thursday. We're going to start a new series. I've got something fun. It's all about new palettes and primary colors. So that's going to be a really fun series of probably 9 videos because I've got a lot to say. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.